Out of the good news, back into the bad news. Trump is bribing a French company that was going to be doing a bunch of windmills off in the ocean. He's bribing them to not, because now that fossil fuels are super duper expensive because of his stupid war in Iran, that's a great time to pivot away from green energy. Never mind that if you guys had gone whole hog into green energy like 20 years ago, then the current situation would not matter, at least not in the States. Like, it would still matter globally, but
Saki and I were actually talking about that in the car a couple days ago, where she said, with everything going on right now, you picked the best time to have an EV.
Yeah, great time.
I have a level 2 charger now, finally.
Nice. Oh, yeah, level 1 with a full electric EV. That must have been painful.
It actually wasn't that painful. I only ever had to go to like a big charging station, I think 2 or 3 times total. But every time that I did have to go, because I was doing like to and from Atlanta for some reason, I felt it.
Yeah.
So, wasn't too bad.
Well, I keep forgetting that you don't have 5 kids that have a million appointments all over a fairly large peninsula.
Right, yeah. I can choose to stay in my house and hermitize a little bit sometimes.
Because that was when we first moved in here. There was a period of time when the contractors were working. When we got the kitchen redone, they were using the garage as like the place where their table saw was set up, and the cord from the level 2 charger couldn't reach from the back of the garage out to the front. So we basically charging the car off of an extension cord plugged into just a normal outlet. And it was painful. But we also do have 5 kids that have appointments all over the place. So yeah, there's a Canadian Tire just down the road from us that has as a DC fast charger. So we were able to go there and top it up when we needed to. But yeah, it's much cheaper to charge it at home.
That is one of the other problems that I ran into, is that where I live specifically, there are no chargers.
Well, you live in Georgia.
So
you think Georgia's going to go all in on electric cars?
There's plenty of places that have chargers in Georgia, just this is not one of them. You have to go to population centers. I live in the boonies. Does Buc-ee's have a charger?
They'd be stupid not to have chargers, but I didn't see any while we were there.
I believe that the one here actually does have a charger, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, Sean Helfand says I have a hybrid, but it's also still cheaper. Yeah, I have. We have 2 vehicles. There's an all-electric car that we do most of our driving with, but we also have a van because there's 7 people in our family, and we can't fit 7 people in a car. So we have a van. The van is a hybrid, and that is nice. However, we are trying our best not to drive it right now, thanks to, the war in Iran. Gas right now is about $1.75 a liter, which I think translates to about $5.50 a gallon.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's not cheap.
No, it's not.
So I actually, I filled up 4 jerry cans just after the war started, and the gas had only just gone up by like 10 cents a liter. So it was at like 140. And the 4 gas cans are going to be enough to completely fill the van up at least once, like once and a bit. So hopefully that can hopefully this war is not a forever war, and the prices will come back down at some point.
That's always the hope.
But yeah, no, Trump chose this time to be like, hey, company that was all set up to build a whole bunch of windmills and make us less dependent on fossil fuels at a time when the price of fossil fuels is killing my constituents. We don't need your windmills.
Yes, fuck off. We could use a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, so they're going to invest the money. They're going to invest the money that he's paying them $1 billion, which is essentially a refund of what they've already paid.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to the stipulation on that is they now have to invest in fossil fuel projects. So great time to ramp up.
It's like, why should you have to incentivize buying yesterday's tech?
Well, the Interior Department hailed the innovative agreement with the French energy giant and said the American people will no longer pay for ideological subsidies that benefited only the unreliable and costly offshore wind industry.
The costly... I have never heard it called the wind industry. What the fuck is the wind industry? Who the fuck calls it the wind industry?
Yeah, Windustry was right there.
Just... That sounds so... I did it so that I wouldn't be subservient to big fucking
how many
wind.
But like the fucking oil companies are massively subsidized. And on top of the money that they actually receive directly from the government, they also are, in my opinion, now this is a debatable point, but in my opinion, they are subsidized in that they don't have to pay for the downstream consequences of burning the fossil fuels. So like all the health effects from the pollution, they don't need to pay for that. That's a subsidy.
You've heard the theory that the smartest people alive in the world have already come and gone, and we will never have people as smart as those again because of the lead in our atmosphere that we ourselves fucking put there.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Is the lead still in the atmosphere?
There is still an amount of it. Like, it doesn't just go away because we stopped using it.
No, I mean, it goes away eventually.
Eventually.
Into the water table.
I don't believe we're to the point where it's gone away enough.
Yeah, but it's just like, I forget the study, but there was a study done a couple of years ago that determined that if we were to actually make all the fossil fuel companies pay for all the downstream consequences, the externalized costs of like just for healthcare related stuff, then going green would 100% pay for itself. Like it is just the amount of healthcare savings that you would have just from reduced pollution, from not burning any more fossil fuels, would more than pay for itself in like whatever it costs to switch over. Like, I forget what the exact numbers are. It's been a long time since I read the study. But like, for all the people that say, "Oh, it's too expensive," yeah, but it makes a bunch of other stuff cheaper for you, and also it's not more expensive. Like, solar and wind power has come down in price significantly to a point where the only fossil fuel that's cheaper than them right now is natural gas, and the only reason natural gas is cheaper is because of all the subsidies it gets.
Unfortunately, I think humankind in general is not forward thinking enough to view it that way.
Yeah.
I think we look at current consequences and current things more than we look at what's going to happen downstream, very much to our detriment.
MacroCat4749 says we have microplastics, though. Yeah, just because I come plastic now doesn't mean that we're going to have health effects in babies, right?
On the microplastics thing, though, I believe we've actually not... Granted, this doesn't mean anything because we did the same thing with tobacco, but I believe we haven't actually found anything definitive in terms of the negative effects of microplastics on human health. I was watching a video about that a while ago, and...
Yeah, but they still found them in brains.
Yes.
I feel like having little bits of plastic poking around up there is not going to be good for you.
Right. It's... Again, I agree. I do not think it is a good thing, but in terms of actual tangible negative effects, we haven't really got anything major yet. Again, this is as a couple years ago when I was looking into this. That information may have changed, and like with things like the tobacco industry, there's always the chance that the information itself, those studies, are skewed because of industries wanting to pay for them, because that's what happened with tobacco, that's what happened with sugar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough of this bullshit.
Yay! Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.